guys, welcome to my Slasher live chat. So if you're in the room, let me know, and then also let me know if you have seen all of both seasons. And depending on who is in the room, that is how I will handle the chat, because I see Julian says you haven't finished season 2. I don't know if you're still here in the room. I know Jay Ivy was supposed to be here, and I'm not sure if she's finished season 2. So I don't want to start talking about what happens in season 2 if we have people in here who haven't finished it, so we could just focus on season 1 if you want. But if not, if everyone in here is completely caught up, we can talk about both seasons. But please let me know if you are watching. The title does say season 1, season 2, so we were intending to cover the entire season of both seasons. Jay Ivy, did you finish season 2 as well? And Julian, are you still here before we get started? Okay, so Lauren has seen everything. Hi, Jason. Hi, Mikey. I will give it like a minute more. If you have not finished season 2 and you still want to be part of this chat, let me know now. If not, we're going to get started and we will continue from that point. So if anyone gets here late, they'll just have to exit out and come back to this when they're finished. Hi, Makara. Hi, Vanessa. So I watched the first season. A lot of you guys have been asking me to watch this for so long, and I definitely had it like on my radar, and I wanted to watch this series. And then when I started doing Riff for like a month before it shut down, I was like, this would be the perfect show to watch with you guys. Some of you guys started watching season 1 with me on Watch Riff. We just got through a few episodes, then I was traveling. And by the time I got back, and I think maybe I got sick around that time, I don't even know what happened, but I was getting back and trying to catch up, and then I found out Riff was shutting down, so I could not keep going on there and watching it with you guys. So anyway, many of you know I have been sick with an ear infection and like coughing and everything terrible. I'm still getting better, but I'm a lot better. And so I had a chance just to chill and watch season 1, and then I liked it a lot, so I'm like, I'm going to move on to season 2, which the funny thing is when I watched season 1, I thought it was really good. I really liked it, and I was like, I'm wondering if season 2 is going to be as good, because I told you guys I finished season 1, and a few people tweeted me. I got a lot of tweets actually saying season 2 wasn't very good, or that people liked it for a while, then it sucked after the reveal. And so when I first started watching it, I thought, I think I had that in the back of my mind about what people had said. Hi, Ralph. Thank you for being here. I don't know if I said hi to Connie, but hello. And so I was like, this is a little bit slow, like season 2. And I felt like season 2 was a lot different than season 1. But I think as it went on, I got like really into it. And then like the payoff for me in season 2 was great. I was completely shocked. I was blown away by the reveal. I thought it was fabulous. I honestly think that season 2 is one of the best horror series I've ever seen. But it doesn't mean I didn't like season 1, because I liked it a lot. I just didn't know that it could be a lot better than season 1. Louise, I have watched Revenge, but I never finished it because I was kind of behind on it, and then I heard it got canceled, I think, anyway, and I just never caught up. I don't even know if it had a resolve, like if it was resolved and it had an actual ending or what. But hi, Solomon. Mikey says, what did I think about Scream Season 3? Yeah, I'm going to be watching it. I'll be doing videos on that. But we're primarily going to focus on Slasher here in this chat, just because I know a lot of people wanted to come to this. They asked me I was going to do this Friday, and some people asked me if I could push it to Monday because they couldn't be there Friday or they hadn't finished Friday. LaRon says the reveal for season 2 definitely caught you off guard. So I'm going to go ahead and assume everyone in the room has completely caught up with this series. They've seen both seasons, and we'll start discussing different points from each season, whatever you guys want to do. But I also wanted to say one more thing, that the original season 1, was on a Canadian channel called Chiller, and it got canceled. So it actually got picked up by Netflix. I definitely noticed a big difference in season 2, not just from the storyline, but I noticed the language was like a lot more graphic, and I guess that's because it wasn't on like a regular TV channel. And I think there was some nudity, and I could just tell it was way more adult because it was a Netflix original, and I'm hoping that there will be a season 3. I don't know. I haven't really Googled to find out. I don't know if you guys have heard about a season 3. Season 2 just came out in October, so it's probably going to be a while if we have a season 3. But anyway, okay, Maddie says you liked it. It was good. Connie says you feel like in season 2 there was a great start, then kind of a it grinded to a halt in the middle, and you got a bit bored, and then the end of the season made up for it. Yeah, I definitely think a little bit of season 2, it got slow in there somewhere, because I was starting to think, oh, this is what people are talking about. And then I was thinking, it's probably just going to suck and it's not going to be very good. But I'm really shocked that some people hated it, or I don't know if they finished it. I'm kind of wondering, did they finish it, or were they confused by the reveal? I just found it to be brilliant. And honestly, if any of you tell me that you figured out season 2, I will have a really hard time believing you. And, you know, if you had no spoilers, you never saw anything about it, and you completely figured it out, I would just, I don't know. I think it's pretty impossible to figure out unless you had a little bit of a clue, or you had kind of been spoiled, or someone had said something. That's just my opinion. Connie says you were wondering why the language was more out there. That was why. Lauren says you found it weird that the killer was in love with their son. So that's something I wanted to talk about. So some people told me that they feel like the mom and the son in season 2 had an incestual relationship when he was alive. Now, I don't necessarily know if that is exactly what went on, or if in her deranged mind, like after his death, she was picturing them together as a couple, because she basically was like schizophrenic, you know? I mean, she was taking on the identity of her son and everything else. I mean, there were voices in her head. So I'm not completely sure that they were hooking up in real life when he was alive, but maybe that is what they meant by that. I just took it as this woman is completely deranged. She's grieving her son, and she's picturing him now as a boyfriend. I mean, I thought the whole thing was weird to begin with, you know, I've seen so many, that's such a theme in a lot of shows now with like Miss Grundy and Riverdale and stuff. I thought this show was just kind of going along with that and being like, look, here's an older woman that's into a younger man. And, you know, I thought it was weird, but I honestly felt like they were just going there with this weird scenario. And, you know, I was like, okay, because I've seen other shows doing it, but I was like, this is kind of freaking weird. But I don't remember them, like, really hooking up or doing anything really graphic, maybe till the end. So it was kind of like they had this, I felt like they had a crush on each other or something, but it just never went to that level. But, of course, none of it was really happening anyway. Slaloman says Slasher is easily one of your favorite anthology series. I loved it, absolutely. Ralph says season 1 was silly with Cam being a bedwetter, but season 2 did keep you to the end. Season 1, I did predict Cam, for those of you wondering, but I also was thinking his dad was working with him because of all the religious undertones with the killer and the fact that he was killing people for his sins. And like, Cam never really seemed to be super religious himself, so I thought maybe he was like the one doing the killings, but his dad was the one kind of promoting all of these people, like promoting the deaths of certain sinners, but his dad wasn't involved. So, I mean, I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was more like an MTV Scream on that level of difficulty of figuring out who the killer was. But I've definitely seen much worse thriller kind of shows, so I was totally okay with that. Going back to the comments now. Vanessa says you kind of figured out who the killer was in season 2, but not the twist. As far as who I thought in season 2, I definitely thought it was Owen, who was the killer. And then, I mean, I felt like, oh my God, it was him. It seemed like they almost revealed him near the end. And then we had the big twist. So I definitely thought Judith was weird, but I can say, to be honest, I did not pick her as the killer. I thought it was Owen, who wasn't even there. So, you know. Ralph says season 1, her painting of the hangman was amazing. And in season 2, you really thought it was the lawyer. Really good red herring on the writer's part. The lawyer guy was very suspicious to me. And a lot of you did warn me that season 2 was way more graphic. That's another thing as far as blood and gore. The scene where his like hookup woman, whatever, because it wasn't like his girlfriend, but when she got like her head blown off and he had blood all over him, that was like super intense, super gory. That whole season was very gory. And I kept thinking he was probably, I definitely thought, especially when he went after that one guy, I think his name was Peter. And I'm like, it's not him. Anyway, yeah, I did suspect the lawyer for a while. McCara says you called the killer, but not the twist. And now that you look back, you can see the clues. I definitely would like to go back and watch it again because obviously Owen was not ever there. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if anyone can tell me, like, they knew he was fake and they knew he wasn't there and they knew the mom was doing it and everything, and, you know, that was Owen, and, you know, the whole thing, like, I would just be like, no, no way. Maddie says, for the longest time, you thought it was the husband in season 1. For those of you who came to my Watch Riff broadcast and people were asking me within the first few episodes, like, who do I suspect? And I said, the husband. This was like, you know, just 1 or 2 episodes that I watched. And I also suspected the preacher who was Cam's dad. So the husband was very suspicious. And especially, and we're talking about season 1, especially when you found out that he was like obsessed with those killings involving his wife's parents. And that was just really weird. And basically, I mean, he just kind of wanted to be with her or knew about her because of those killings and because of his research. So, I mean, he was super shady. Plus, he pretty much cheated on her almost. I can't remember if they totally went there or what, but I really didn't like that guy. But didn't they like reconcile at the end? I just didn't trust him. Okay, I'm missing some comments here. Recomment if you if I missed your comment, because I don't want to miss anyone's comments because I know there's just a few people in here, so I want to get to everyone's comments. Ralph says, when the hangman walked into the house in the beginning and the husband thought it was his friend, it was super creepy. Definitely. I mean, I think there were some great moments in season 1, and I think the costume of the executioner was very, very, very scary. You know, I kept thinking in season 2, the body frame of the killer, which was not in a scary outfit, but unique to be in the winter coat. I kept thinking it would be a really great twist to be a girl because, I really enjoy when they go there in horror movies and stuff because it just catches you off guard, because most of the time, whether that's like sexist or whatever, it's a guy. So, and I kept thinking this person in this hood with the fur and everything, I was like, that could definitely be a woman. But for some reason, I never suspected Judith, which was dumb. Connie says, you were convinced it was him. I think we're talking about the husband from season 1. And the nosy woman, as you called her. I think that was like the journalist who wanted to hook up with him. She was super annoying. I could not deal with her. Oh my God. Let's see. Jordan says you enjoyed both seasons. You preferred the story in season 1, not the killer reveal, and you enjoyed the killer twist in 2 and not the story so much. Yeah, I mean, the story I do think was a little more draggy in season 2 than season 1. And if I were reading like the storyline without the information, without the reveals, without the twist, I would be more interested in what happened, like the background for season 1 probably than... I mean, the summer camp, I think they tried to be really unique with this, and they did. Because, you know, a lot of horror movies, like Friday the 13th, are summer camp based. But they took a summer camp and put it in the winter, basically. So they took like a closed summer camp coming back. They were trying to do a twist on summer camp. Did anyone catch the fact that the name of the camp was mentioned in season 1? I think it was maybe a camp that the girl, the lead in season 1, had gone to. But since I watched them back to back, like I caught that right away. Yeah, Julian, we're talking about both seasons, so if you don't want to have any spoilers on season 2, you might want to hop out of this because we're going back and forth. We're just kind of all over the place with what we're talking about. I'm just basing it on what you guys are commenting. So you definitely do not want to be spoiled on season 2. That goes for anyone else who's in here who hasn't finished it or was planning on watching, because it would really ruin it for you if you hear what happened. It would just... it's so good that it's something you don't want to know, you know? So just warning anyone in here that if you haven't seen season 2 or you haven't finished it, it's so good. I hope you would come back and watch this later because, you know, it's just that good, and I don't want you to hear it from me, what happens, and then be bummed, because I would be so bummed. I am so thankful that no one spoiled this for me. It just definitely wouldn't have been the same at all if I knew what was going to happen. So glad. Thank you guys for not saying anything on Twitter or whatever. I didn't do YouTube videos on it because with Netflix shows, I'm just terrified if I have to watch all of the episodes and then do a video, because there's like trollish people out there who aren't you guys, who would have commented, the twist and would have destroyed it for me. So Mikey says Georgia Wigham. Are you talking about Slasher or about Scream? I'm not sure. I don't know if she was in one of these slashers or not. Tommy says season 2 is so much better. I agree. Jordan says, has anyone heard anything about a third season? And just one more heads up again, I'm totally focusing this chat on Slasher. So if you want me to do one later in the week about all shows, I can do that. It just kind of gets confusing sometimes when we jump to totally different shows because some people have not seen certain shows that we're talking about and they get lost and they don't know what the heck we're talking about. Jay Ivy says the reason you suspected him not being real is because you watched Mr. Robot and it was very similar and they use that in this season. Okay, well, that's really cool. I haven't seen that show, but I know a lot of people have told me it's really good. Okay, Julian, bye. I'm sorry about that. Laurent says you felt bad for Andy and you think that's his name. Oh my God, because he got sodomized. Yeah, he was raped, burned by the killer. Yeah, I mean, I know he was a crappy person because he kind of attacked, what is her name? I can't think of her name. The girl that they killed. Well, they were all crappy people because they killed that girl and they took turns like smashing her head in, even though she was a crappy person. But, you know, no one deserves to die because of that, because of just being, you know, a crappy person. She wasn't a killer or anything. But anyway, yeah, I felt really bad for that guy because he definitely got crap happened. I mean, he got the worst stuff in the world happened to him. Especially being that the rape scene was really hard for me. I was like, oh my God, this is awful. Someone actually did warn me about that. So, and that's totally fine. I didn't view that as a spoiler, but they didn't say who involved or anything. Was it Noah? Yeah, Noah. Makara says Andy was Peter's ex-girlfriend. Yes, Andy got killed really early on. She was Peter's ex-girlfriend. Exactly. Right. No one deserves that kind of punishment, no matter what. So why can't I think of the girl's name that they killed? Anyway, Talvinder. Yes. Laurent says she was a horrible person, but she didn't deserve to die like that. Right. So, you know, it's hard to, I want to say, you know, what happened to the group. They pretty much deserved it, let's be real. But Vanessa says Glenn was the worst person in season 2. Absolutely the worst. And he was not one of the, you know, he was the guy who had been in jail and all that stuff. I had a really big problem with him. Like, oh my God. Awful person. Jay Ivy says you're still puzzled for the first kill in season 2 because normally the first kill is significant. The first kill was Jean. And I think maybe Peter had asked Judith. Somebody asked. No, actually, Judith was asking herself. She was asking Owen, like, why are we killing these randoms? Basically, like, why are we killing these people from the retreat or whatever who weren't involved in Talvinder's death and weren't involved in sending him to jail? And he was kind of like, they're just kind of casualties. Like, they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, she was, like, really desperate to not kill that one girl who had a thing going on with Peter. I think she escaped, right? I can't think of her name now. The girl who kind of was, like, hooking up with Peter near the end because she was innocent. She was, like, a nurse. And so that was, like, one of the bad parts of the show is that people were being killed who literally did not, I want to say, they didn't do anything involving Owen or Talvinder or Judith, you know? Jay Ivy says Aaron's the boss. This is the guy behind the show. If he cooks something up for a third season, we'll see. And so glad you enjoyed it. Orangeville, I don't know what that means, but is that in Canada? I don't know. I know it was filmed in Canada. And if I've missed some of your comments, please comment again, because I know for a minute there was a bunch of comments and I couldn't get. Oh, okay. That was a tweet from Paula, and Paula played the girl who, I think she survived at the very end, right? The girl who had, like, a lot of issues. She got shot, like, her leg got messed up. It was really cool. I saw, like, Jay was tweeting some of the people involved, and she tweeted back, and I didn't realize she'd said all that. I don't know what Orangeville is, though. Is that in Canada? That definitely did not look like an Orangeville place. It looked like Antarctica or something. I don't know. Dawn is who she played. Lauren says, you were surprised that she survived. I was really surprised. It was almost like, I'm not sure why they had her survive, because it was almost like they let her survive because she would be like in a season 3, but obviously she's not going to be because this is an anthology. So I felt like that was kind of weird that she survived. Yeah. Ramona says, do I have any videos about season 1? No, but I've thought about sitting down and doing a dedicated video to season 1 and like a dedicated video to season 2. And Ramona, I will tell you to hop out of here pretty fast because you do not want to be spoiled about season 2. It's so good. But yeah, if you guys are interested, I can sit down and do like a whole season 1 video and a whole season 2. Hopefully I can remember everything from season 1. Vanessa says, hopefully everyone's out of the room who has not caught up. I really don't want to spoil this for people. It makes me very sad. Vanessa says, do I think Judith will kill Dawn? Well, I guess no, because it's over. I don't know. Yeah, some of the actors were in both seasons. The guy, well, the only one I recognized, I guess, well, Dean McDermott, who played the terrible sheriff in season 1, was the crazy man who was like wronged by the lawyer guy. He was in the restaurant scene just in one episode. And then I'm starting to feel like I'm going to have like a coughing attack again. So if I disappear, you know what happens, or what happened, and I'm sorry about that. I'm still getting better. There was another question. Oh, the guy who was the yoga instructor was like the gay guy whose boyfriend or husband maybe was killed in season 1. That was super weird too because he was kind of like a gay guy in this season, but he had that really weird marriage with that really strange woman, and they even like talked about it a lot in this season. Like, I don't know what was going on with them. It was very bizarre. Maybe they were just bisexual. I don't know. Paula was in both. I don't remember. Who was Paula in season 1? Jean and Robin. Okay. Connie says, you love how we've all just decided to talk about season 2 because of how amazing it was. Yeah, but we can, and I know, we're kind of stuck on that. Plus, it's like the most fresh on my mind, even though I watched them pretty much back to back. Oh, are you talking about season 1 had the cliffhanger? Well, season 1 had the weird ending with the girl killing the cat. Sorry, that bothered me because I love animals. I know it was fake, but I was like, oh my God. I think they were basically saying like she was moving into the house and the house was like, the house was kind of like a evil house and she was another evil kid, moving into that house. I mean, I felt like that was kind of a cliffhanger, but that's never going to go anywhere. Anyway, I'm really thinking that I'm going to have to let you guys go because I'm on the verge of having a massive coughing attack. But thank you guys so much for being here. It was so much fun. And I can do videos of both, but I'm going to have to go because I'm choking. So bye, guys.